everyone, Monica here. I'm just here to talk to you about a new kind of a series, not really a series because I do art journaling, but I'm going to do it more regularly, like every Sunday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a prompt. I find for me that I should art journal more often. It really helps me, especially when I'm not well or I'm struggling with something or just anything. It's just, even if you're super happy, it's just a wonderful way of expressing yourself and your emotions, and also journaling in it, writing in it, which is a part of art too. But I know a lot of people out there, like me, sometimes lose their mojo and you don't have a prompt. Like, what am I going to talk about or what am I going to write about? Or beginning art journalers, they want to do it, they want to get on the bandwagon, but they either A, think they're not an artist, or B, think they're not a writer, so why would they do this? But they so want to. First of all, let me tell you, everyone is born an artist. There is no one who is not an artist. As I've mentioned before, there's a culture in Papua New Guinea where they don't even have the word artists in their language, because just as everyone breathes, everyone is an artist. There's such a creative culture. So it's just something you need to tap into and learn how to use, and prompts are the best way. So every week I'm going to give you a prompt and I'm going to take you through my prompt like I always do with my art journaling, and like sort of a mini tutorial. You can do it my way, you can do it your way, however you want to. But I'm going to call it Art Journal. I wrote it down so I didn't forget. Art Journal Sunday Prompts, and then there'll be a hyphen and the theme. So today's theme is going to be balance. So welcome all the old subscribers and all the newbies, and let's just have some fun and explore this. Sunday's always a wonderful day for me. It's always very relaxing. It's the Sabbath for me and a day of rest, and I think it's a perfect day to end your week or begin your week, especially if you work. Just take some time for yourself and let's just do this all together. So let's get started. Hello, my fellow artists, and welcome to my Art Journal Sunday Prompts. I hope this is going to help you guys get motivated and be brave to go ahead and create. If you can breathe, you can create. I'll show you the journal that I'm using. It is this mixed media journal by Canson. I picked it up at Michael's. It was in one of those clearance 75% off bins. It was regular about $17 or $18, and I got it for $5 or $6, so it's great, and it's got really good pages. And I started this for you because I already started this video once and I deleted the intro. So I am so sorry. So I was doing an art journal project, not an art journal project, a swap actually, and I was blotting my Delusion sprays, and when I was left over with these beautiful sort of designs on the paper towel. So I thought, I'm not throwing these away. So I adhered them down. I tucked in paper towel on either side of the page I'm working on here, so it doesn't get all messy. And this is the pages that I had sprayed. I adhered them down with a heavy gloss super gel by Liquitex. Next time I buy gel, I'm not getting heavy. It's just a little too thick for me. You can see it almost looks like Vaseline or hair conditioner or something. And I wanted a little bit more the consistency of Mod Podge. Just not so thick. Not that it bothers me, but I just don't see the need for it to be that heavy for me. So I glued that down, and then what I did is I just tore off the excess with my fingers. I don't care if the edges are raw or not. So there, I've got them all torn off, and I really, for my sake, I don't care if it's perfectly trimmed and all of that. I just find that helps me let go a little bit. So although this blue is beautiful, it's just a little bit too bright for me today. So I'm just going to take some gesso. I got this at Walmart, and it's Daler Rowney gesso, and I'm just going to take a paintbrush and just kind of I don't want to really white this all out. I'll take some of this excess tissue or paper towel, and I kind of going to like do a dry brush on it, see, just to tone down a little bit of this blue. because these delusions, I love them, but they are bright, bright, bright. And if you don't want them bright, 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 you can easily tone them down with gesso. Have to be careful because this is paper towel. Our theme is balance. Balancing your life, what balance means to you. For me, when I think of balance, I think of balancing mind, body, and spirit or soul. If those are all in alignment, then all is good with the world, with me. And whenever I'm focusing on, or if something goes out of whack, I have to kind of do a little bit of a body scan, and I check, is my body okay? Am I hurting? Am I sick? No. Is my mind okay? Am I, focused? I think so, but something's not right. You can do your page on what things bring you balance. Music, song, which all those things do for me, but whatever it is for you, do your page the way you want your page to be. If you are a real newbie and you want to copy what I'm doing, you may not have these. You might say, oh, well, I don't have Delusions sprayed paper towels. Just don't happen to have that laying around. You can just take some scrapbook paper. If you don't even have that, take a magazine paper, glue it down. If you don't have acrylic gel, just use glue. If you mix equal parts glue and water, you've made your own Mod Podge. So slap it down and just go ahead and do your own thing. This is just a guide. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. So I hope this helps you out. So I'm going to put this aside to dry. I'm going to take, this is another Delusions product. Love, love this stamp set. I love her especially. For me, it's hard to find ethnic stamps, and she just spoke to me, this little chickie right here. So I was going to stamp her directly on my page until I realized I was going to use this stuff. So I am going to stamp her onto some white paper and color her, and yeah. And then I'll glue, when I'm all done, I'll glue her on the page. So there's my lovely lady all stamped out. I use black StazOn ink, and if you look at this image of her, the original stamp, because I altered it a teeny tiny bit, which you can do, there she is. So you can see that she doesn't really have any arms going up. And then I stamped out these two hands here. But I wanted her to have arms going up in the air. So I drew some arms in, first in pencil. Can you see them there? Oh, wait a minute. Right there. I sort of extended them on, first in pencil, and then I took a black Sharpie ultrafine fine pen to mimic the ink. So she's got these arms with no hands, but her hands are over here. So this is the pen I used to trace over top. So now I'm going to, the reason I use StazOn ink is because when you're using paints of any kind, it doesn't bleed at all. I've got one of these aqua pens. They come with a pair of two. You can just use a glass of water and a dollar store paintbrush. But the water's already in these, so it makes it easier. And I've had these watercolor crayons forever and ever. They're falling apart, but I love them. They're so vibrant. I bought them at Desser's Art Supply Store. You can also get watercolor crayons at the dollar store. They look like pencil crayons. So make sure you really read the box. And how they work is you just take them and scribble them on your surface, like so. And then you just take your little pen. If you're using a regular brush, just dip it in the brush. You're using one, little water going on. And as soon as you wet them, they become watercolor in the most gorgeous colors ever. So I think I'll make her dress orange. And yeah, she's going to look pretty hip and happening, I tell you that. So I'm just going to continue on painting her. And while I am doing this, this is the one thing I love about art journaling. While you are doing the process, I find that I focus on whatever the prompt is, like on balance. Like right now I'm just sort of thinking about, just how I can keep myself in balance. So this is how my little chickie looks all painted. I love her so much. And I just want to show you, because I scribble on the page here for my paint, I just want to fill in that little pink part. And then when you go to clean it off and go to another color, you just go like that and it's clean. You can pick up the red and go like that and clean. So yeah, it's all done. So I'm going to cut her out real quick and then we'll go on. So here's my little lady, which is representing me. And you see my arms that I made and I glued my hands on. I love that. So I'm glad I wasn't too afraid to draw those arms on because they turned out really well. And I glued them on with glue dots. Next thing I'm going to do, just going to take a probably, what is this, 1 3/8 inch punch and punch out 3 circles. And I'm just going to write in them, in script, mind, body, and soul. And I'm just going to use my ultrafine Sharpie. So I cut out 3 scallop circles. I'm just going to pop them inside like that. Just going to use this little pop dot machine thing I got at the dollar store. Yeah, so I've got my lady. I'm going to put her aside. My 3 little thingies. And then I want to show you, I've got some packaging here. It's from Prima Flowers. So where did I put it in this mess? Here it is. And sometimes when you buy stuff, make sure you look really well at the packaging. I know Prima does it. I think Tim Holtz does it too, but they put things in there that you can use in projects. And this one has pennants. I am a pennant lover. So I'm going to cut some of these out and use them on my page. There's so many bright ones here, really nice colored ones. Don't know why I'm into bright. I used to be such an earth tone person, but lately I've been all about the brightness. So just cut them out, and I'm not throwing this away. I'm going to use these little guys. So I got really lazy. I could have taken my letter stamps and stamped the word balance, but I just typed it on the computer, and I am just going to cut it out and use one of these teeny tiny little hole punches. I don't even know what size it is, and I hope I can get all the letters in without cutting them off. So there's B, and I'm going to glue it on my pannet. Isn't that cool? I want to add a tiny bit more layering to my page before I start to put it together. So I've got some Whisper White craft ink from Stampin' Up, and just one of these old wheels from Stampin' Up, and this one is just music. Music for me is probably the most balancing thing there is. I don't care how lousy I feel. It just totally is my, I don't even know, my breath, my air, it's my life source. I love it, love it, love it. I can't even imagine living without it. I remember when my kids were little, I asked them, what would you rather have? No music for the rest of your life and $1 million, or music as much as you want? And all 3 of them picked music, which I just was so pleased to hear. And you know, there are some people I know, sorry for the squeaky wheel, they don't play music in their home. And it's just sad to me. It's such a, you're just missing out on so much. So yeah, that just looks kind of like a schmozzle of stuff, but to me, I know it's there. It's music notes. So I'm just going to dry this page off a little bit and then start building. So here's my almost finished page. One thing I'm going to make sure that I try to do in this art journal is leave a place to journal, because I haven't been doing that, and I really need and want to sit down and write in my book. So before I do that, I am going to, well, I want to show you what I did. I put my 3 juggling balls, as it were, body, mind, and soul, above me with my cool little extended arms. And then I glued my lady down, and then I put the pin over here on the side and just ran a little piece of twine, see the word balance, and I also ran the twine under there because that's all about the balance for me. I'm going to take this Prima branch bark chalk ink. I've never used these before, but I want to give them a try, and I'm just going to ink around the page because for me, when a page has a little bit of darkness around it, it tends to ground it for me, and I'm all about feeling grounded. That also helps to keep me balanced. So I'm just going to quickly do that. The paper towel takes this ink so perfectly. And just think, it was almost going to be thrown in the garbage. I took a course this weekend, and she said, I've got these packages if anybody wants them before I put them in recycling. And so I took a look, and I thought, I took quite a few of them. Nobody else seemed to want them. I thought, I'll take them. And I am so glad that I did. So there, I've got my, this is nice ink, by the way. It's by Prima, if I didn't say that already. So now I'm going to make myself just a little area for some text. So what I'm going to do is just take this ink, it's called paint, called Citron. And then I'm just going to take a paintbrush. Hang on, I'll go get my favorite one. Got my paintbrush here. And I am just going to make my kind of text box right on top of this green. Pour a little bit of the paint out. Can always add more. And I'm just going to brush it back and forth. And it is clearly going to be the spot where I'm going to journal. And I promised myself that I'm going to journal. Because a lot of my other art journals are just art journals, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I go back and I think, why was I thinking that day? Why, you know, why did I think that? So, I don't need a large spot, just enough for me to say what I gotta say, you know? So I don't want to paint over my little pennant there. I also wanted to mention that when I journal, I prefer to journal with a fountain pen, but it can be messy to dip in the ink and all of that. So I found these at Staples, and they are called Varsity pens. But I want to show you them. Look, they're fountain pens, and they write so beautifully. I love them. So maybe look into that if you like that fountain pen feeling, you know, of art journaling. So here's my totally finished page. I put the date there, Sunday, July 14th, 2013, and you see balance. And I did add my journaling, and I don't mind reading this journaling to you. Sometimes I may not, who knows. But it says, whenever I feel out of balance, I do a quick and thorough scan to make sure that all of the important elements that make up of myself are in order. And there I have body, mind, and soul. And there's me. And the reason I didn't mention before why she has pink glasses, because I prefer to look through the world with rose-colored glasses. So that's why I gave her some pink shades in her funky little outfit. And then, of course, the background, that tissue paper with Delusion spray, and it was actually the blotted image from another stencil, and then the music notes that are so blended in there so nicely. And then I inked all around with the Prima chalk ink. So I really like how this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this first prompt. I hope you like doing this. I hope you join in. And please share with video response so we all can see how everyone's doing. And what balance is to you. And if you don't want to share your journaling, then share your art before you add your journaling. And I know a lot of people, writing is easier, so they'll probably do way more writing than they do the art. Do whatever. This is just a prompt to get you journaling. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye.